Good morning. Can everybody make their way back to their seat? And if anyone did not receive a ballot, it's just a skinny little piece of paper. Brian will, raise your hand and Brian will give you one. So everyone that's a member should have a little ballot before we start. And they will be collected after the vote. So I'd like to call the meeting to order at 10:43. Where's Flora? So pray with me. Holy and gracious God, we are grateful for this congregation, past and present. We've made lifelong friends here and consider this a family. We've made more memories here than we can count. Today, we have some big decisions to make, and we ask that you be with us and guide us as we discern your will for this special church. We know that no matter the outcome, we will always find our way to worship you. We pray in the name of your precious Son, Jesus. Amen. So we have several things. We have 4 questions, and the first 3, we have 5 questions, and the first 4, whatever. The first, we're going to just do by hand raising, and I'll just review those, but we'll talk a little bit about them. The first one, we've talked about them a couple of weeks ago. Dave talked at length about them, and the budget, the Friends School rental, the painting, and our new consistory member, Ann Thayer. Those votes will be by just hand raising. And the last one, which is about our future, the 3 to 5 year proposal, that will be on the papers that you have. Okay, so the first thing is the budget. We did review that. Mike talked about it 2 weeks ago, but if you had time to go home and look at it and you have any other questions, now is the time to raise your hand and see if Mike can answer those questions for you. Well, that's because our minister has graciously offered to do this for free for the rest of this year. Well, to the end of 2025, to the fall. Yeah, so what's on there is just for a new pastor we would call at the end of the year. Yeah. Yes, we are very fortunate. Anybody else? Okay, could I have a motion then to approve the 2025 budget? Frank? And second, Barb? Where is Flora? I want to be able, oh, she's over there. Okay. So did you hear that? I want to make sure you hear everything. Frank and Barb. Yeah, okay. Okay, so all in favor? Raise your hand. Okay, it looks like that passed easily. So, good, thank you. And now again, Dave had explained the possibility of our renting Hafer Hall, both the upstairs and the downstairs, to the Friends School. They have a kindergarten through 8 program right now. They're looking at starting a preschool, which we may be able to incorporate some of our children in there. So this would start in the 25-26 school year. We would transition through the summer for the various changes they would need to make. So if there's any new questions about, or any questions about that, Dave would probably be able to answer those before we vote.
Actually, I can say that I met with the director and with Joyce from our Christian, and this week, the proposal, those of you that work on the proposal that we were going to send to them, has been very favorably responded to, so you know how much we had suggested for rent. It's going to be about $30,000 a year.
Thank you. So any questions from that or from any other part of it? And if not, can I have a motion to approve the Friends School using our Hafer Hall for the school year 25-26? Okay. Mike, did you say that? Mike? And Sharon? All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, passed easily. Yeah, thank you. Okay, the exterior of the church is in need of painting, as we talked about, and the steeple needs to be cleaned and painted. So no matter what we decide about what we are going to do with the church, it needs to be in good condition, whether we keep it or sell it or give it away or whatever we do. Sorry. We need it to be in good condition. So Sue has done a lot of work, Sue Dumbach has done a lot of work getting estimates, people coming in and so forth. So the consistory we haven't made a final decision, but what I'm asking today is that if you vote that we could spend up to $40,000 painting all the necessary parts outside, and that includes the steeple. Most likely it'll be two different groups, two dudes, which we used in here, and we had very good success with that and relationship with them. And then a special guy that does steeples. That's most likely the people we're going to use. But we're asking for your approval for consistory to make those decisions up to $40,000. So any questions about that? Okay, could I have a motion to approve that painting? Dottie? Okay, thank you. And a second. Ted? Yeah. All in favor? Good. Good, thank you. Passed. This will be a tough one. Ann Thayer has graciously volunteered to join the consistory. No one is really going off consistory this year, so we voted in consistory to add another person. This is going to be a busy year, I'm sure, and there'll be a lot of work and questions and decisions. So it's great to have an additional person, and Ann is just that person. So I guess we need a motion to approve Ann as a new consistory member. Donna? Okay, so moved. And a second? Barb. Okay, thank you. All in favor? Okay, what a surprise. Okay, so our biggest decision today, and this we're going to be voting on in private, is whether we choose to stay here as a church and move forward with a 3 to 5 year plan. So this will involve several things, and I want to review some of those things. Hopefully you all picked up this 3-page paper. This is what we worked on in November with Jill when she came in, and almost all of us were there in the evening and the afternoon. And we decided what was most important to us. And so I'd like to review just the first few of each of the categories, the ones that got double digits, so that we are reminded about what it is to be this church. This was our why. So if we vote to continue, these are the things we need to keep in mind. And really, that means putting some time and effort into them. You know, we don't want to vote for something if we can't fulfill our why. So I'm going to just run through them fairly quickly. The first page starts with community outreach, and the top one is community meal. We're doing that. You know, we've been doing that. We're doing that. Of course, we're always happy to have new people that contribute to it. Resources needed by homeless shelters. That's not something we've really done in the past. If we were to do this, it would require someone to organize that. We all are very generous in bringing things in. We're bringing coats in, we're bringing other things in. This particular thing isn't something we've done, but we certainly could do. And I'm not up here to approve or disapprove. I'm just throwing them out there so you can be reminded of them. Third one, aid for young parents who need a positive space to bring their kids after school programs, before school programs, youth socials. This is not something we're doing at all. So if this is important, this would take some work. This would take some organizing. Not that we would have to do all the work, we would not, and we have the space, but it would take organizing. So it would take people to step up to do that. So any questions about those comments, just about the first set? And we're not going to decide now is how we're going to do it. I'm just bringing this up. The second one is Christian education, discipleship, basic instruction in skills needed to live a fruitful spiritual life, prayer, Bible study, leadership, etc. We did just start a new program that Dave is leading, a legacy project. And so that certainly, I think, fits in there. And same with the second one, Christian Ed. Now that's a Sunday school for all ages. That would take some work. The ones we've had in the past have been led by people in the congregation. So if that's important, that would take some planning and some stepping up. And Bible study and theological insight for lay members, curriculum, or similar. So just, again, these just require people doing some work. Worship. Enhance and expand music program, give choir a break. Well, I know that we have put money into the budget for Francois to do some extra, and he is doing already some things, and he has money to do some, so I think we're on the way to that. Strengthen worship, preaching, music, liturgy, bulletins. I don't know exactly what all that means. If we wanted a worship committee like we used to have. We had one in the past, and that dissolved some years ago. So if people are interested in doing something with the worship service, then that would be a group that might get together to work on that. The choir needs more men. So men, you need to step up. So, any questions about those? All right, moving on to member care. More members need to step up and volunteer. Well, that's kind of the whole crux of this, what I'm standing up here saying. So just keep all those things in mind. Strengthen communications, emails to all in congregation. Personally, I think we've done a really good job of that. I think Libby did a good job. I think Dave is doing a great job of that, but that's just my opinion. In fact, Libby, what? Libby used to say she thought she did too much, that people complained that there were too many emails. So, you can't always please everybody. Fellowship, improve fellowship among members after service and other times. And again, that is solely, we can do that easily. We just need people to sign up and do it. We got a table out there. Lee was, kind of the default person. Even people didn't do it, Lee did it, but we don't have Lee anymore. So if we want that, if that's important, I've put some paltry things out there if you saw. It was very sad. But that's something we can do if it's important, but we need people to volunteer. All right, now community visibility. I think we're doing an excellent job of that, actually. Allow community use of space. So Region All is using our space this afternoon. We've got another church. We've got Girl Scouts. We're going to have Friends Church. Tony's going to be giving a talk. I think we're doing great at that respect. And that's all been pretty new in the last 6 months, maybe. But still, if we want to do more, then we need to find other groups that might want to use our church. Building use for other groups, that kind of is the same thing. Add climate emphasis, Climate Action Church, solar for church. Okay, this is a whole other, new thing that we would talk about if we were to go with some solar panels for the church. But we're not going to talk about that here. That's just an idea, and an important idea. Any questions about any of those things that need to be answered today? Okay, so just keep those in mind. Okay, so any questions about the vote. So the vote at this time is just, do we want to go ahead with 3 to 5 year plan to continue being the church and meeting here? And that might not necessarily mean anything in particular. We could meet somewhere else in the church. But do we want to stay as this church and move forward with some of those things that we have felt are very important, and develop a 3 to 5 year plan, which will one of the big things that it will require is to form a search committee and have a profile and look for a new pastor. So that's a big thing, that we would either be a part-time or a shared pastor. So that's a big deal. So you're just saying, yes, I want to do that, or no, I don't want to do that. If the no's were to win, then we would decide, what does that mean? What are we going to do then? Okay, we're not doing that today. We're just doing yes or no. So yeah, we decided that we should have 75% yes, because we don't want just a simple majority. We want 75% of the people to be enthusiastic about staying here and willing to put some time into it as well for us to go ahead with this. So go ahead and mark your ballot if you haven't, and Brian will pick them up. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Dave, those of you at home, Dave has his phone number that he will give you so that you can call in and say yay or nay.
Yes, so my cell phone, and what we're asking is that you include your name so I know who it is, and then yes, whether you vote yes or no. And the cell phone number is 717-371-2593. That's 717-271, is that right? No, 3, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't call myself enough. 717-371-2593.
So we do want the people at home to feel, that they have their input into this as well. So call Dave. So that's all we're doing today. So if you want to know the answer, then you need to stay. If you don't need to know the answer right now, you can leave, because there's nothing else to do. But we will count them now, and you will find out the answer. Does everybody had a chance to put their vote? Oh, I didn't put mine in.
I just want to make a comment about the sheet that you went over, which was a result of that visioning process. There's a lot of different things on here that we talked about during that Friday and Saturday event, but notice that what we did is we narrowed them down. We narrowed them down by selecting the things that were most important for us. And so these items that Carol went over would likely be items now that a strategic planning group will get together, and that's the data that they'll look at, and they'll say, this is what we said we wanted to do. How can we begin to do that? So we're not going to be adding a whole lot of other stuff to the process, but Jill would be willing to meet with that strategic planning group, and then we can carry on from there. So we've already kind of narrowed the field, and I think that's important for being able to get things done. We're not going to do everything. We're just going to do what I feel called to do. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. I'm not getting big. Yes, Tony. Yeah.
So who's thinking spring or summer right now?
Oh, yeah.
So this voting class is given by the Coast Guard. And everybody remembers John Wilson? He was my mentor. So
So if you have grandkids, your own kids, whatever you have, 10 years old and older, you can take this class and get a certified certificate to operate a boat or a jet ski. You must have one if you operate a jet ski, okay? So encourage your kids. If you want to come out and take the class, great. But it's going to be held here. So please give me any information you want. I'll talk to you about it, and we'll go with that, okay? So please spread the word. It's a community thing. Remember that. So spread it out to the community.
Thank you. Okay, drum roll. The yeses, we had 30, oh, what? Oh, okay, that's true. So is he out in the narthex? Okay. Well, I don't think it's going to make a difference, but. Did we get? Okay, so we have 35 yeses and 3 noes. So we passed by more than 75%. So it looks like we have some work to do. So thank you, everybody. We'll adjourn the meeting unless there's any comments at 11:05. Yep. Thank you for coming. Thanks for your participation.